bitches. Woo! Good morning, bitches.
Hi, everybody.
It's Tuesday.
God, it really is, isn't it?
Hope everyone had a great Indigenous Peoples Day yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal had to work.
Yeah.
I also took today off, so
Deal with it.
Don't even know why.
Deal with it. We're here for the people.
We're for the people. So we thought that we were going to be talking about pink flamingos today, but it turns out that pink flamingos is quite hard to get hold of.
Yeah, but part of me knew this, that John Waters movies are really not streaming ever anywhere or available online in any capacity. Really? Many of his movies are only like direct to DVD or something like. And I remember when I worked at Newbury Comics, there was a time when a bunch of them were being released on like double DVD.
Yeah, there was a big anniversary of Pink Flamingos, for sure.
And I remember getting Polyester and Female Trouble on one DVD. I think that was right. And I also have Pecker, which is one of my favorite John Waters movies. But yeah, I remember when I did see Pink Flamingos for the first time, I got it on VHS from the library.
Yeah.
And that's probably what we're going to have to do.
Yeah, Serial Mom's the only one that I have on DVD. So we did, Aaron sent us a rip of it very kindly. Well, we went to play it, and it's got some guy doing basically homemade Russian.
Yeah, it's overdubbed in Russian.
Overdubbed. But it's one man's voice doing a translation of everybody. It's kind of amazing, but I didn't think I could watch the whole movie.
Yeah, I didn't know that we were going to pick up what we needed to pick up on.
So I have tracked down a library copy that I'm going to go pick up next week. So we're switching.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about Harold and Maude, which was the next one on the list.
Yeah, which I had never seen. I vaguely knew what it was about and what the controversy is about the movie, but I didn't really know much about it other than when I was in high school. There was this one kid guy in my shop, because as we all know, I went to the Votech, so I was in the graphic arts shop. Marcus Cheney, who was like the cool punk rock dude in school, who really was like really into this movie for a minute and was like telling us all how great it was. And I was like, it sounds like I don't understand. All right. And so when we were watching the movie last night, I was trying to see where the like punk rock sensibility of the movie might lie. But I think it very much is in Harold as a like super gothy, like death obsessed, but he's a really, really interesting character, like played really well. Like I could understand how a teenage boy could really identify with that character.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Maude's pretty punk, honestly. She's living her goddamn life as she wants to, you know?
I mean, she seems more of a like, more a hippie vibes to me. But there is...
I got like old European bohemia from her, honestly.
Yes, yeah. That's fair. She does live in a train.
She lives in a train. And she has
yeah, I was gonna say there's some like it's a
Nazi.
Yeah, right, of her like escaping.
Yeah, so that there's hints of her life that she clearly has not always been able to live her life exactly how she wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone hasn't seen it, like I guess the thing that everybody knows about it is it's about like a young 20-year-old boy falling in love with a very old lady. But I mean, that is what it's about, but it's like, that makes it sound really salacious in a way that it isn't.
Yeah, it's not. I was surprised how not salacious it was.
Yeah, like, I mean, they do clearly have sex at one point, but like, you just see them very briefly the next morning.
Yeah.
He's blowing bubbles.
He's just lying in bed, super casual, which is not a vibe that he has at any other point throughout the movie. Yeah, and I think the connection that they have like builds so gradually, And, you kind of get the sense of like discovery through his character that like he is able to connect with somebody where everybody else in his life is just like talking at him and making decisions for him and like and just completely dismissing anything that he like thinks or feels or says, like and he's staging these elaborate like death scenes, suicide attempts, and it's completely dismissed the whole way through.
There's also like a real because he is of money in some respect. Like he lives in a huge house, and his mom just buys him a Jaguar for the hell of it at some point. Like he lives in a world of expectations as well. Like simultaneously, no expectations. He can clearly do whatever the fuck he wants and doesn't need a job. But also, like, there's an understanding of things that you should do as a member of that part of society. And like when they're trying to fix him, instead of talking to him, they suggest he joins the army or he gets married.
Yeah.
And then Maude is just out there. She's 79 years old, lives in a train, poses naked for a sculptor,
just steals cars left and right
all the time. Just like doing whatever she feels like pretending she can play the piano.
Yeah.
And doing some really incredible art. And just sort of like just showing him that there's another side to life. But neither of them are really participating in society.
Yeah.
They both remain outside of it, but she's having a lot more fun than he is, I guess. And like, yeah, we were saying last night, like he's very young. He's supposed to be 20. He looks younger. It's weird when you first see him driving a car.
Yeah.
And he's obsessed with death, and she's very near the end of her life, and she is like living as much life as she possibly can. And somewhere between the two of them, like a balance is found.
Yeah, they like meet somewhere in the middle of this like fatalistic obsession that they both have. I mean,
so they meet
at a funeral.
Yeah, they both keep going to funerals that they're not invited to, and that's how they meet each other.
I had thought so. He like at one point buys an old hearse that he starts driving around, and it's like, oh, so he's got. This is like his job now. He's just like a hearse driver. He's just driving an old hearse to other people's funerals.
Yeah.
And just hanging out. And she is also just showing up at other people's funerals to, I guess, I don't know. They're both like interested in the passage of life, but from really different perspectives. But
yeah, he's just reveling in like the macabre. And she finds something life affirming about funerals.
Yeah. So yeah, it was beautifully shot. I thought it was really, really gorgeous, and like in a way that kind of surprised me because I didn't really know what to expect. I knew what the story might be, but I mean, it looked beautiful. It was like almost Kubrick-esque in the way some of the shots were composed. Like everything was really, some of the angles was just really beautiful. The colors were really nice, and like 1971, so there were some really excellent costumes.
I would say it's a pretty big influence on Wes Anderson.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
A lot of the shot compositions, and also the Cat Stevens soundtrack. Like I feel like a lot of those music cues are the kind of things that happen.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Especially like Royal Tenenbaums. Because the entire soundtrack is by Cat Stevens, and it's a little bit intrusive.
It is.
Like there was a moment when you were just like, wait, who is singing all of these songs?
Why all of this?
Because it's very clearly the same voice every time.
Well, I mean, in that sense, it definitely had a Simon and Garfunkel in The Graduate vibe.
Right, that's true. Yeah, very, very familiar.
So like it's kind of used as a plot device to like move through the scenes, but there definitely was a point where it's just like, I don't know that we needed this.
Not
right
all
now.
of them. Some of them fit really well.
Some of them really, really worked.
Some of them you just like, this could just be like, this doesn't need words.
Yeah, we didn't need that. Didn't need the assist, but thank you anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's something you don't really see a lot of anymore. It's just like one artist kind of like laying the groundwork for music for the entire film.
Yeah, I wonder how that worked. I wonder if he wrote, like, at what point in production he wrote the songs. Depends how prolific he is, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it does. But yeah, I mean, I think since we sort of watched this in haste and also on a streaming platform that included commercials, which was really bizarre. So it was really weird. And they were like very abrupt. You know, like when you watch a movie on TV, there's like a little bit of a pause between the scene and the commercial.
So it was, the streaming service called Pluto, which I'd never heard of before. It was on Roku, but that's where it was. And it was free, but it had commercials. But all of the commercials were very loud and colorful and upbeat. And the way that they just suddenly cut into this film was very strange.
It was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you know, we still gotta figure out how to write a song about this. You know, there are a lot of angles I think we could take. But I liked it. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it for a lot of reasons that I didn't know that I would. You know, the composition, the acting, I liked Maude, and the acting was wonderful, but Harold was so good. He was so good.
It's funny, like we came out of it each like in the other.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't think the guy who played Howard is great. I just really love that lady.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck has she been in? And it's Rosemary's Baby is what I was remembering her from.
Yeah. But I mean, they're both really interesting, really distinct characters. And like, in a sense, that is kind of it's a little bit of a love story cliche, but like a lot of the movies we've talked about, I don't know if the cliche came from this or it's just part of the larger movie canon, you know, of love stories of this like opposites attract kind of a thing. But there's way more going on than that. But it does have that element of like, how could these two people like each other?
Yeah, I wanna find out a bit more as well if I can about. So it wasn't a hit when it came out.
Yeah.
And we just saw this random statistic that it became profitable in 1983, which is 12 years after it came out. I just wanted to know if like that's just cumulative or something happened in 1983. I mean, presumably it came out on VHS, but did it? Like,
right.
I don't feel like they were just putting everything on VHS at first.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah, it's curious because we were reading reviews last night, widely panned when it first came out. So
just because of the tone of it. And the first time I watched it, I actually didn't like it as much. I found it very slow. But I was saying like it was like at least 10 years ago when I was still in London and I had like one of those DVD subscription services. Love Film was the big one in England. And so I used to just like keep a constantly revolving list of movies that I hadn't seen but I knew were like kind of a big deal. And so one week I got Harold and Maude. And I think I just watched it I didn't know anything about it. And I watched it with the whole vibe of like, this is an important movie, must concentrate sort of thing. And like that immediately made my attention wane. And this time, like, I didn't get that at all. I really loved it, and I didn't feel like it was really long or.
Yeah, me even with the commercial breaks, you know, which maybe helped, but I didn't because you had said like it's kind of slow and it's really long, so I was expecting it to be paced differently, but I thought it was actually it was the right pace. It was a little bit slow and it like was a little bit like flat feeling in places, but it matched the like tone of the movie. So yeah, I enjoyed it very much. And
go check it out. Maybe not on Pluto.
Yeah, unless you really want to see really bizarre staged suicide scenes intercut with Tide commercials.
A lot of Tide commercials, a lot of local political commercials.
Yeah.
New York State Lottery came up a lot, and Always Pets.
Yeah.
Very loud adverts for Always Pets.
So,
but actually, I think that the commercial breaks may have actually helped.
Yeah.
Because if they hadn't come in like that tone all the way through,
maybe
I think is what I had reacted to before. Yeah. So we're gonna do our song "Make Art" in tribute to Maude, who convinces him to take up the banjo, because everybody should find a way to make a little music or something. That's what she says, and she's like not a great artist, although that wooden vagina sculpture
pretty incredible.
It's actually kind of great. But there's like a painting that she does that's called like Rainbow with Lemon and Elephant or something. Like she just does whatever the fuck she wants to.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of the vibe of this song. And we'll be back on Thursday with a song that we will have written about Harold and Maude. And we're going to take a break next week.
Yes.
Because we have to move out of a flat and things. Yeah.
It will also give us a little more time to watch, and write a song about pink flamingos.
Yes.
So you'll have that to return to.
Okay, let me get this guitar. They had a hiccup right then, so this could be an interesting situation. Okay. Ready?
I think so.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Read it perfect with inspired books of fanlight and you diary, you like it. You read a one-person show you only read when you're alone and you like it. You made a movie with your friend and no one makes it in the end, but you like it. You wrote a musical inspired by the person you admire and you like it. Hey, art! Hey, art! Hey, art! Woo! It doesn't matter if it's real. It doesn't matter if you fail on your first try. It doesn't have to make a dime. It doesn't matter if it's real. It doesn't matter if you fail on your first try. It doesn't have to make a dime. It only has to make you smile. Make up for you. You made a focus with your cousins and you sound like music doesn't, but you like it. You drew a Bigfoot on your back, but it looks like Amy Man and you like it. You made all your own clothes and no one asked you where they're from, but you like it. You got a camera from your dad and all your pictures turn out bad, but you like it. Hey, art! Hey, art! Hey, art! Woo! It doesn't matter if it's cool. It doesn't matter if you fail on your first try. It doesn't have to make a dime. It doesn't matter if it's cool. It doesn't matter if you fail on your first try. It doesn't have to make a dime. It only has to make you smile. Make up for you. Make up for you. Make art for you.
All right.
Okay, I'll see you in a couple of days.
See you Thursday.